All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon. Glad to be with everyone here. Just gonna load up a couple things here. Let's see here. Okay, so for those that want to be in with the trade chat, love to hear from you guys today. So I got that loaded up over here on the side. Still over here in Brazil, um, having a good day out. It's beautiful out actually. It's actually winter time, so to speak, in Brazil. So it's around 70 and sunny always in the winter time. It can rain some, but it's beautiful weather out today here in Rio. Let's see here. So I just wanted to talk to everybody. You guys are welcome to ask questions. So today I wanted to open up the floor to questions, um, as well as I put the Trojan Solana bot on here. So we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to focus on how to win, point blank. You know, um, I think this group does an amazing job with making sure the technicals. We have all the strategies out there. I'm compiling a video of my strategies. I think we have Lewis and a few other great coaches doing that as well. And I'm going to be talking about some things that I'm doing in the meantime while we have this choppy market. Now, for some of you guys that have been here or have just recently joined, and you have access to Satoshi Check on here and Connor, and maybe that's the tier you're in, or you have access to all coaches. Um, we have we have uh, a lot of coaches in here, but if you have access to us, about a month ago, I discussed how the month of May was going to be a month where we would see some more discounted prices, probably leading up to June. And this is, yeah, I appreciate it, Emerald. Thank you. Yes. Thank you guys. Yeah, so I'll wait for a few people to get on here. I'm also going to see here, add this to the chat real quick. I added it in a few places, but I'm going to add it here as well. So that didn't come out right. I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, the live feed is in the live trades, the live show chat. So if you want to hop on, come on and hop on. Let me see. Let's see. I added it here as well. So if you guys want to, I added it here as well. So okay, so now that we're live, I'd like to take some questions from the group in the trades chat. Everybody voted on the trades chat. So thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Trying to do a couple things at once. I did post it earlier on yesterday to the trades chat as well as the live show and on my section of the group. So I did post that yesterday as well for everyone. But I'd love to hear from you guys today. We're going to be talking about sniping. So that's something that I told you guys. I was like, hey, we're going to talk about that today. And I know some of you guys have been waiting for that, as well as I'd love to hear from you guys kind of what are some questions you guys have, because you guys are the most important people in the room here. So I'd love to hear from you guys. And while we're doing that, okay, so absolutely. So let's start with the first question because that's why we're here, right? So absolutely. I'm going to look right here. Okay. So look in here. Okay. So one thing I can say for Sui is this is what gets me every time. As you guys know, Crypto Rank is my favorite. Love the charting. Absolutely. So if you want to ask me, what do I think about Sui? I think Sui is a great play for the cycle. You know, in crypto, we can't get price guarantees, but I can tell you one thing. So I've been in crypto so many years, and SUI is backed by some of the biggest people in the game. And some of the when you're some of the biggest people in the game, you don't like to lose, right? Now that's not to say you can't, but let's look at SUI for a minute. And I'm going to keep this trades chat open. Um, so let's look at SUI here. And right here, this may scare some people, but here's the catch: is the one thing I like about SUI is their vesting schedule compared to others. You may look at another vesting schedule and you see they have 10 billion cryptocurrencies, 10 billion, tokens in circulation, and only, 10 billion tokens, but only part of that's in circulation. Well, SUI actually has a great vesting schedule. Yes, so they have a great vesting schedule, which we're going to look at here, which makes it so they do not dilute their token too much too fast. So they actually have their vesting over the course of years. And yes, do I believe SUI is here to stay? Absolutely. And I actually wanted to get in later on to a meme coin on SUI that I am super bullish on. You guys know the name, Lofi. Super bullish on. They just listed on Kraken. For those that don't know, they just got got a tier 1 listing on Kraken. But let's go into SUI here. So this is what I love to see with SUI. One thing is it moves with the market. As you guys have known, every time Bitcoin runs, SUI runs. Am I right for the most part? Now take in mind, right now we're kind of choppy. We're in between the high 102.5, 102.4 area up to 103. So we're chopping. But when the market moves, SUI always moves. You guys can remember it was at $2 and change, instantly did a 2x. I bought SUI. I was a little bit late to the game, but I bought SUI at like 70 odd cents, 72 cents. Is when I first got into SUI. I sold closer to the $5 range. And it is something that when things pick up, I'm looking to get back into the altcoin market. And I'm going to discuss some of that with you guys today. But let's focus on SUI here because that's one of the questions here. So look at the amount of money raised, first of all. 22 million, 750, 750. This is endless, by the way. This is insane. 300 million. Add this up, guys. 300 million. There's a 301 million, 302 million. Let's just round. Okay, so 330 million between these. I mean, and it just keeps going, right? 336, 300. It doesn't stop. It's got over $340 million raised. Just looking here, not even doing the math, just jumping through and doing some quick math here. And what's important is the team. So if you look at the team, some of these guys are, I believe, in the SUI's team are some developers that were involved with, I believe it is Meta, SUI's developers from Meta. I believe they have some developers. Yeah, Miston Labs. Yes, so Miston Labs is largely composed of former Meta Facebook engineers. So when we talk about SUI, we're talking about previous Meta engineers being a part of their co-founding team. And the overview of SUI, and this is how I look at SUI. I believe that SUI has a lot more to run, okay, especially with their vesting schedule. I want to go into that, right, because I think that's important. And here we go. Let's scroll down. So look at this. So this is a linear unlock of 7 years, okay? So we do see next unlock in 14 days, but there's only 12.63 million tokens that are going to be unlocked. And all of these tokens here are going to be later unlocked tokens. But they generally have a great token distribution model. So this is something to just be aware of, guys. Go to cryptorank.io. This can also help you trade, but is not a guarantee. Okay, of like, if they have an unlock, is it going to be a short? No, not necessarily. Especially with Sui, we've seen the resilience of Sui. But here we go. On June 1st, they have an unlock of 58.35 million tokens. And overall, that's not many tokens that are going into circulation. And then 1 month later, they only have another 58 million. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. Very low dilution compared to the total 10 billion in circulation for Sui, which I really like. Okay. Now, with Sui, like I said, it is a game of cat and mouse. I talked a little bit about various traders last time, and and you'll hear this from a lot of people that have been in crypto for years. Is they talk about, okay, if I could have timed this top, sold this top, bought at this bottom, sold that top, bought again at this bottom, and then finally, sold at the very top, you would have been a magician, right? Crypto is very volatile. A lot of times, in my belief, what I found is the HODL strategy to work, but also, and this is what I'm getting into today, is having swing trades. Now, there is a difference between scalp, leverage, swing trades. When I discuss swing trades with the group, I am talking about taking a spot position, okay, and saying you have X amount of dollars and you want to use this in your spot position. Leverage, maybe leverage, everybody knows this from now, is you may win 8 out of 10 leverages. Our group kills leverages, right? And there is some that don't go through, right? That aren't the best trades. But what can we do? We can lower our entry costs, right? So for instance, with TIA, I lowered my my initial entry to $2.12. Satoshi check, why'd you do that? Well, previously in the market drawdowns, Celestia was not wanting to visit anything lower than about $2.30. So I felt safe, even with a large pullback, that hopefully, right, there's no guarantees, that I would be safe there. And that actually could position me for a bull run long on Celestia. I do have Celestia pulled up and some other things. But to the point with Sui, I absolutely believe Sui has a lot more room to grow. Their ecosystem is growing. For instance, there's a video on X that you can look up, and they took Caspa, Sui, XRP, and Solana. XRP and Solana were about the same when they transferred. They just did a standard transfer. They took all 4 phones at one time and transferred just one single unit across all phones. And XRP and Solana were around 9 seconds till until it was received on the other device, the receiver's device. Caspa was close to, I think it was 2 seconds. Sui came in number 2. So out of Caspa, Sui, Solana, and XRP, it went Caspa, Sui, XRP, and then Solana. Okay, XRP and Solana were in the 9-second range. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Caspa, but there's some caveats there. I am looking to get back into Sui, and you're probably asking me, why am I not jumping into Sui right now? I have jumped into Sui back at the $2 range and did a small trade, which was not a large part of my portfolio, but I'm looking for a few key things to happen in the cryptocurrency market. For one, right here, I'm going to bring this up. And please feel free to ask more questions here. I'm going to bring this up because I had this for you guys. Two currencies. Here we go. Okay, so when I came here, okay, so we see the crypto fear and greed index is still in green, but we're starting to back up. Now, just a few minutes ago, we did touch 74. For those, I monitor this closely, but also for altcoin season, guys, look at where we are at. We are totally in Bitcoin season. Okay. I do want to put into perspective a few different cryptocurrencies and some things about previous cycles that I'd like to go over. That people that may not have been in a previous cycle may want to know. Okay, so one thing I look for is obviously funding, backing, right, of the cryptocurrency, but also I do try not to look for legacy cryptocurrencies. And that's not to say XRP won't go to, I see XRP definitely surpassing its previous all time high. I do see that happening. Recently they announced they are working with 6,000 US pharmacies through Wellgistics. And they're operating their pharmacies with XRP payments. So that's like a huge out in the open, step forward in the crypto industry. As well, a lot of friends of mine have been talking to me about joining. There has been an influx. This is something else that some people may not know. There has been an influx of jobs at Binance, jobs at Coinbase, jobs at CryptoRank.io, CryptoRank, CoinMarketCap, Crypto.com. There is enormous amount of job opportunities, and if you fit some of those qualities, that may be something you may be interested in. I know we have a lot of smart people here. I'm waiting for a few people to ask me some questions, but I see Adam's typing here. As far as SUI goes, I am waiting for monetary policy to shift in our favor. And when that happens, I am going to deploy capital. There's also another cryptocurrency that I'm looking at for this group that I think has responded to monetary policy very well, that I think could be a very good trade for this group. And guys, as you know, my saying, I didn't make this saying up, but I am always cooking for you guys. Just for instance, on our Titcoin, not as of recent, but we did a 3x in the midst of chaos, 3x. Okay, we did a 3x on a spot buy. Before you finish with your first subject. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So I'm going to go on here, and there's various different takes on here. And one thing I look for, and I'm going to make sure to do this in a video because I would do it no justice, and I'm doing a collective of videos just for this. But what I like to do is long. Okay, long at resist or short at resistance. Okay, so when a cryptocurrency comes up to its previous resistance, right, and hasn't broken through, I may be looking for a short, right, as well as incorporating various moving averages. Okay, whether that's the 50-week EMA, that's the 21-week EMA. Also, some basic trading tech, some indicators for you guys. I'll jump over here. These are basic. I'm going to clear this chart, and I'm going to talk about some basic indicators here. And so let me make sure this is up. So, yep, trade check. And please also, yeah, absolutely. So one thing about margin trading, is it is absolutely brutal. Okay, I have found this to be very, very, very important. Okay, so one thing that I have found is with margin trading, stay off the reverse button. My number one advice to anyone, because I have made that mistake a long time ago. Okay, stay off of the reverse button. Okay, I know it's very easy to be like, you're down $30, you're down $500, and you're like, I want to press reverse. And what that does is that takes all of your margin, and now you have a portion of that margin left. Okay, my idea, and this is a suggestion for you guys, this is not something that you need to do, you have to do. What I like to do is, a lot of our trades in our community trade centers have been, say 8 out of 10. But we do have some that are not always successful, of course, pro trades. But for the most part, we score big. What I like to do with margin is I stay away from the 50x, 100x, 75x. Now, I know people do good with that, but it is a very dangerous game. And I know Connor recently came out and said, hey, let me put a 3x long on Sol. It dropped a little bit, but is he worried about, a margin call yet? No. And that's because low leverage. And it's over time we have learned not to use high leverage because it puts us in a bad position. Now, a lot of times when I announce my leverage calls, and I'm going to go into some of the signals that I like to use that are simple, and I will make a video because this won't do it justice. Let's see. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get into that next. So let's go in here to Sui, right? We had someone ask about Sui, and one of our guys, Adam, asked about Sui, I believe. Yep. And so with Sui, I am going to be looking at in this chart here. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm going to be doing some videos, but Bollinger Bands, they break one way or another. So they are a measure of volatility or decreased volatility. The tighter the Bollinger Band, the decreased volatility. But that does not mean that it's necessarily just a coiled spring. Now, a lot of people will tell you that the longer a token is in consolidation, the larger the breakout. That's absolutely true in a lot of circumstances. One thing I like to do is look at the various support and the various resistance. So I am going to try to long at support, okay? For instance, a good trade, right? When Caspa was bumping its hit, this is an instance, was bumping its hit on that 10 cents region. Let's go here to Caspa. When Cass was bumping its head on the 10 cents region, let's see here. Okay, let's go back. Are we on the hourly? Let's go to the daily. When Caspa was bumping its head, let's see where we are now. Okay. Okay, we came back down. Came back down. We were in that 9 cents region, and here it is, guys. Okay, so we turned, we flipped. So right here, it was testing to see. Do you see that wick that we had came up? We were testing to see right here if we could turn that 10 cents area into support. We were not able to, which would have been a great short opportunity right here. Okay, we came back down. We visited about 8 cents. Okay, we came back up. Look at the Bollinger Band, right to the tip. Bollinger Bands are, very helpful in some regards, okay? We came back to test that resistance again. We failed. We came back down, okay? Came back down to the 8 cents region. Okay, and as you see, there's an EMA cross up. So the moving averages, we have a cross up on the moving averages. And we flipped that 10 cents into support right here, right here. Okay. Once we got another close here, that was an absolutely good entry. Once we flipped resistance into support, that would have been a great long position. As well on the daily, guys. One thing I am looking at is the MACD. Okay, so let me make sure I'm hearing from everybody. One thing I'm looking for is the MACD. So on the MACD, guys, this is textbook 101. When I went to college and we were studying, I talked to a lot of my friends with hedge funds. Sometimes the MACD can be like, oh man, that's just one indicator. It is only one indicator. But one thing that's been almost always in my favor is for those that do not like to day trade or trade on various technicals, they like to have a core portfolio. Say they bought in early, so they're not interested in trading up and down. Okay, but one of the things I look at is the cross up of the EMA, or sorry, the MACD. And so right here, we had a cross up. And as you know, let's correspond these. Okay, what happened when we had a cross up on the MACD? We had a movement up on CASPA. What happened when we had a cross down on the EMA? We came down on CASPA. What happened when we had a cross up on the EMA? We went up on CASPA. What happened when we had a cross down? We came down on CASPA. Now I'm going to be making a video that's more in depth where I have my charts where I can show you guys the exact resistance levels. And that's going to be for my collective that I'm coming out, where I'm going to go very detailed into my trading analysis. But these are some simple, and you can also look at these on different time frames, guys. So sometimes it depends. Like for various cryptocurrencies, I'll check it on various time frames, like the 4 hourly. So if you look here, we have an we have a cross down, an EMA cross down. Okay, we had a cross down, cross up, cross down, cross down again. So right here, you can look at various time frames, okay, to kind of help make your decision on that. And it's going to show you the MACD, so where your MACD's at. Also, I like to look at history. So when I come back here and look, I kind of count bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's 8 bars. Okay, we go back. CASPA doesn't have a super long history, but we kind of can count how many red bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 8 bars, dark red bars, before we lighten up. But see, we just got another large separation of that MACD. Now, a lot of times what traders will do is trade sometimes off the MACD combined with other indicators like volume, the RSI, and support resistance. So right here, this is, if you guys would look at this, it's accurate as it can be. When you look at this MACD, it corresponds to everything in this chart. We had a cross up here. I just put the marker on here. Let's look. Cross up on the EMA. What happened to CASPA? Up. It's that simple. Like, that's why I like the MACD so much. Now, are you going to ask me, Connor, Satoshi Check, do you trade just solely off the MACD? No, I do not. I use other various technicals, whether it's overbought conditions, whether it's oversold conditions, whether it's the Bollinger Bands, whether it's previous resistance, previous support. There's a lot of different factors that go in here. Volume. Am I seeing a lot of people, like recently, if you can look at Casper on the 4 hour, you have seen nothing but red volume. Red means people are selling, okay? And that does correspond to the MACD on the 4 hourly. But if we go back to the daily, it is about to cross. If you guys look right here on the MACD right here, okay, I'm going to move this down, but the MACD is about to cross bearish, okay, on Casper, okay? If you look at the MACD on the daily, it is about to cross bearish on Casper. And so I also look at various technicals, but I'm going to save that for another video. Guys, I would like to hear some people ask some questions. 808, okay, margin safe. Okay. Okay, so it looks like Lewis is on the trades chat. That's okay. Shout out to Lewis there. Always nice. Appreciate that, Lewis, man. Lewis has some great information, man. Shout out to Lewis there. But going back into a couple other things that I wanted to talk about is before I leave Sui, I like Sui overall for this play. The one reason why is if you look at past cycles, if you've been in past cycles, you will notice that there is cryptocurrencies that have gone and came, okay? And what that means is they never recovered. Like, let's say Polkadot, for instance, right? Let's say Polkadot. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to put dot. Polkadot. And I'm going to go to a higher time frame. I'm going to go to the 1 week. And if you notice, let's see, this is June 2021, so let's kind of see. It went up to about $50, right? And so, it never quite recovered. And if you look here, it's been consolidating in a tight range, and this is on the weekly, guys. But some cryptocurrencies don't come back. So what I'm looking for is cryptocurrencies that are new, that have the tech stack, that have the partnerships, and have the backing. Okay. Okay, so that's a great question. Someone just asked me, how long do we have left in this bull cycle? I will tell you that's not a fool's question, but it is a question that no one here, I don't care what your experience is. I've done this for a decade, whether, some people have done this for 5 years and, they may be smarter than me, but I've done this for a long time. And what I will tell you is it is hard to gauge. What I can tell you is in previous cycles, this cycle mirrors more of the 2017 cycle. Now, with that being said, there's a few different things that this video I am not covering, but like I said, I am going to be making a collective. One thing is a lot of people are saying 2026. I personally will never, ever let this group be caught in holding the bag. Now, I can't promise you a price. I can't promise that I'll be perfect, but I promise you I will do every last thing to tell you that there is some key data that's coming out suggesting the bull run may be over. Some of that data can be as simple as the Fed is hinting at a rate hike. If I hear that, I'm looking for the exits, okay? Not, and this is going to be combined. It's not just, rate hike into the exits. But yes, if the Fed starts hinting at a change in monetary policy that's not favorable for cryptocurrencies and risk assets anymore, I am going to be saying, okay, it's time to make sure that I am fully exiting my positions. That is one way to make sure, following the monetary policy, which we will be doing throughout this whole group. Another one, I've told everybody last video, get the Coin app RankBot, Coinbase app RankBot unofficial. Now, this is not a indicator that's going to tell you that sell everything now, guys. No, but it's a combination indicator. I don't like to use 1, 5, 2 indicators. I like to use historical. One thing about me is I'm a historical trader, and I found that to be very successful. So what I do is I combine history and I combine psychology. So I am a big historical and psychological trader, if you would like to classify me. Okay, I use all the indicators that everyone else uses, but I also like to use historical patterns. Okay, this cycle has been different with institutional interest directed specifically at Bitcoin. Okay, we have saw Ethereum bleed out, Solana bleed out against Bitcoin. We have seen the total 3 bleed out against Bitcoin. Okay, now if you're asking me when I will turn bullish on these altcoins, and you're asking, well, why don't you just get in now, Satoshi? Like, why wouldn't you get in now? There's some cryptocurrencies I bought a while ago. For instance, Axelar, Airdrome, Caspa. I've always DCA'd into Bitcoin my whole life, but there is various cryptocurrencies that once the monetary policy changes, I am going to deploy capital. So my main goal right now is to save capital and to deploy it, okay, when it is time. And don't worry, this group, I will be letting you guys know when to deploy capital. And no, I cannot tell you, you have to. It is a suggestion. I will just be stating I'm deploying capital. This is where I'm deploying capital to. Now, on to another question that someone just brought up. Is Titcoin? I have a surprise for you guys today. Okay. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. But this is Trojan on Solana. I made a new one for you guys just to see. I just put like a couple Solana on here and bought some Bodify this morning or yesterday, maybe yesterday, day before. I made this this week as a secondary Trojan Solana, just so guys, you don't want to play out your personal, stuff here. But right here. You guys can see Trojan on Solana, and this is basically what it has here. And so you have various different. I just got rid of that old token that was Fit by Ray Lewis. I made a good deal off that, but like he had a thing going. But this is the Trojan Solana bot. And this works off Telegram. Like I said, this one I didn't load up with just like a tiny bit of SOL, like a 0.25 of SOL. But with this right here, this is what you can do. So all you go down here is paste the contract address down here, right? These are my settings. I like to set my slippage at 15%. I set it to sniper mode, okay? And what this allows you to do is any meme coin upcoming on Solana, say Bodify, okay, I can go in there, put the CA contract address for Bodify on here, and it will execute at the exact market cap. So I'll click, I'll the refresh button. I'll keep clicking refresh, and see, I see it, boom, it just drops some. Bam, I'm going to click it. This is faster than someone who can trade on a regular market because it's AI, it's a sniper bot. And so you have to keep just a little bit of capital in the for gas fees. You don't need much, really. It doesn't use much gas fees, but you do want to keep, say $10 because you might use it a lot. But $5, $10. Make sure you have gas fees in there. And this has been an excellent choice. Now, for those in my group that want to make some extra cash on the sidelines, that say, hey, Satoshi Check, we want you to, put some even more swing trades, not swing trades, but swing trades out there for us. If you do choose to use Trojan on Solana, please do not use it and just look at Dex Screener and look at one. Dex Screener is very, very complicated. If you're new to it, you can absolutely get wrecked because there can literally be 100% down in 1 hour. The key is to spot cryptocurrencies on Dex Screener, okay, that are going into here. With Dex Screener, you're looking for cryptocurrencies that are, I always use a VPN, so this is probably going to ask me if I'm human. Yeah, I always use VPN. I have a couple of VPNs on here. I always use VPN. Now, Dex Screener is very complicated. As you'll see, let's scroll down, and I guarantee you, Dex Screener's going up. But see how this went 25% down in 1 minute? So if you had got on there, this would have absolutely, wrecked you. But overall, Dex Screener is actually seeing a good pop up. Also, people can pay for trending, so you got to be careful of that because some people don't have good intentions. But I look at this, guys, and so if you go to Titcoin, okay, Titcoin was a question here, and I absolutely love Titcoin for this group. Absolutely love Titcoin as a trade, and in fact, I am going to buy some on my Trojan as we speak, so the group can hear as a play right now. I am going to buy some on my Trojan. I will do that off the camera on my actual Trojan, but I am going to be DCAing at these levels. Okay, it's got a low market cap, tier 1 listing. That's what I'm looking for, guys. Now, recently, it has had more sells than buy. So that, I do look for something that has more sells than buy. But let's kind of look at this chart here, shall we? Let's kind of, break it down. And let's see. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Yes, beautiful. Okay, guys, look at this chart, okay? If you look here, Titcoin got all the way up here to 10 cents, okay? So it had a magnificent run up, and now it's came down, and it's consolidating. Look, right here. It's consolidating. And yes, with the tier 1 listings, the consistent volume, okay, on Dex Screener alone, it's got 5 million in volume. It's got more than that total, I do believe. And Titcoin is an absolute bullish. Oh yeah, so that's interesting. Someone just posted bull just opened a 40x long position on Bitcoin. Titcoin is an absolute play for this cycle. I am DCAing into Titcoin. The reason why is cryptocurrency has changed shapes, guys. So why I'm a utility driven guy. I'm a Bitcoin guy. I got into Caspa because many years ago, when I read Fast Money Grows on Trees, I was trying to learn more about Bitcoin. Aviv Zohar came out. There was a publication on Fast Money Grows on Trees, and they were talking about scaling Bitcoin. I have gotten into Caspa, and I do love the idea of Caspa. It's got it for as far as peer to peer. It's a game changer. They've compared it to XRP, Solana, and Sui. Nothing's faster as far as a peer-to-peer payment layer, as well as now they're using it as a sequencing layer on Eager Labs, right? But when we look at Titcoin, it is a great whale token. What do I mean by that? Well, in some of these next videos that I'm going to be compiling for the group, I'm going to go through wallet tracking. And it's something that I like to do. And I also use, and I pay for this for the group, just so the group knows that I pay for this. I pay for an advanced AI platform that helps me analyze various different coals. What I mean about coals are key opinion leaders. Now, why are they important? Key opinion leaders usually have 1 million followers, 700,000 followers, 600,000 followers. Well, and even we have some very great leaders, Tyler, Connor, a lot of these great key opinion leaders. And what that means is they've been in crypto, they've established themselves as successful traders. And I scan I go through and I spend a lot of time on Twitter, and I make sure to add all of the accounts that have been associated with the Trump launch, with very successful launches that did those 1000x, and I make sure to input that into my AI, and I scan for new opportunities for the group all the time. Okay. Now, with the market being choppy, you're seeing a lot of people get what we call jitterish. Okay. So they're taking profits early. Like, for instance, like I got into a cryptocurrency yesterday with my sniper bot, and I took 9%. Right, I was like, you know what, 9%, and then guess what? It dipped by 30%, but I was able to get a couple extra Solana out of it. And so, for those that want to use the sniper bot, I'm going to put a post under there, and for those that want to use it, let me know. Titcoin is absolutely a cryptocurrency, along with Lofi, that I am going to be very bullish on for this cycle. The reason why is Titcoin. Okay, let's go to Mooding. There's a chance that Mooding does a fart coin and goes to over $1. Okay, but it's more interesting for Titcoin because it's got a tier 1 exchange listing. It's still under 5 cents. Whales are like, it's nothing for that to 4x to 20 cents. And so I love looking at swing trades. When we did Titcoin, we had a 3x swing trade. It went from 2 cents to 8 cents. With Bodify, we did a 3x swing trade. We went from 1 penny to 3 pennies. Okay, so I'm looking for these constantly for the group. And so yeah, I appreciate everybody that showed up. So yeah, actually, it says BDK B33. Anyone know the history of these whale manipulations? We see this. Do markets push up or get flushed? House money would say flush. Market sentiment would say push. Just asking the chat. Someone mentioned that during the chat. Michael Saylor recently came out and he had mentioned, he says, someone else with the strings are controlling this market. It's absolutely imperative that we understand that. He had mentioned how he purchased, I think he said 200 million, dollars in Bitcoin, or so he purchased $200 million in Bitcoin, and he said as soon as he bought $200 million in Bitcoin, someone sold $200 million in Bitcoin as soon as he bought. So he said, I can't push the price any higher. He says he buys, and the price keeps dropping. I want to tell you guys about something. During the Obama administration in the United States, there was sophisticated trading algorithms, okay, that it came out. And during the Obama administration, the large hedge fund managers or the puppeteers of the world told Obama that these needed to be classified. And these trading algorithms are used with artificial intelligence. And if you guys are asking, are the prices suppressed? Absolutely. The reason why is these trading bots, that there's more sophisticated trading bots than Trojan on Solana, and the government has them. And so, like Michael Saylor said with a sad face, and he kind of pointed his face down, he says, I bought $200 million in Bitcoin, and $200 million were sold at the same time. And he was like, I just can't push Bitcoin up. And so there are algorithms constantly buying and selling, and yes, that does suppress the price, and we're seeing that across the market in various different niches. So after my not sure with that one. I don't know if that was related to this. Guys, during the group, make sure that all of our trades that I post are going to be on the Discord. All the trades that I do that I recommend for the group, I post on the Discord. Okay, so anything that I feel comfortable posting on the Discord, I've researched. I can't guarantee anything, but I've researched those and I feel comfortable putting them on the Discord for a trade. And a lot of times I'm not going to put a deck screener, cryptocurrency because of the volatility. Now, if I think I found a really good one, I will post that for the group. But until then, we will be doing swing trades while the market allows. I can tell you I'm eyeing two. I got two in the kitchen right now that I'm whipping up. Two swing trades. So if you're looking for a quick 2-3x, hopefully, okay, put some money to the side. I'm cooking right now on a few swing trades. Now, this is interesting. I wanted to go into before I get out of here for the day is Grayscale. Please keep track of this, guys. You know what? When I look here, guys, remember, what did I talk about before they even listed it? If you go into my Discord chat, Baby, I talked about Baby. They are a Bitcoin staking platform. Also, guess who they use? Axelar. Okay, all the big guys that are staking Bitcoin, all XRP, Sui is exclusively using Axelar. Now, what was interesting is VanEck came out and said they're exclusively using Wormhole, and I almost laughed at that. And I'm like, you're going to use a Guardian system with a multi-sig with Ethereum just changed their whole concept after a hack, not just due to the hack, but they have a Guardian system that's easily hackable. It was hacked for millions of dollars, and you're going to choose Wormhole. That all has to do with funding. Wormhole was supposed to come out after Axelar, and it got $200 million in funding, and Axelar just absolutely trashed them. Some of the devs from Axelar are from Algorand. So if you want to know that, yes, some of the lead devs from Algorand came over to Axelar, so they got a lot of experience there. So I come here, guys, to look at what's going on. So I want to talk about Polkadot to Axelar. Polkadot uses parachains, okay? To me, their technology is outdated compared to Axelar. Axelar is more of a universal interoperability solution, whereas Polkadot is a little bit harder for developers, as well as you have to be voted on their network through their parachain, and it's not the same. They do not have the wide scope of interoperability among 70 plus blockchains like Axelar does. It is not the same as Axelar. They are a layer 0. They're not a layer 1. They operate differently. Guys, right here, look at this. Celestia. This has been on there forever. TIA has held this spot since day one on the assets in consideration. Keep that in mind. Remember, I told the group TIA was a $20 cryptocurrency. Currently, I'm holding a trade, which I've lowered my entry, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a bull run ball. If TIA absolutely shreds to $20, I am going to that long is going to be a hell of a long. Okay, so I've lowered my current entry on TIA, I look through here. Aerodrome, one of our picks, Aerodrome. Okay, this is another pick that I think is going to surprise people this cycle is Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid continues to do a lot of volume, and I believe that it may be the next Solana of this cycle. I know, guys, that there may be some questions there, but I believe Hyperliquid does have what it takes, especially with institutional backing and the players behind it, to absolutely rip this cycle. Going down here, Pendle Finance, I've been talking about Pendle for a while. I made a good amount of money on Pendle last year. Pendle Finance is one when monetary policy change. Get ready for Pendle because Pendle, in my opinion, will absolutely shred face. We have had some people talking about Plume. This one, the Cardano founder, Charles Hodgkinson, discussed about that. This is one that I think is going to do well, okay? The basic attention token, okay? I believe it will do well. Story IP has came out. You know, guys, I'm very big on trying to catch something before it shreds face, okay? And so that's what I do for this group. I look for opportunities that have not come and passed. So while I finish up here, I just want to look at these. So they have not added Axelar, and in my belief, it's due to this, Chainlink and Pyth. These are more data oracle related cryptocurrency chains. But one other trade that I'm looking for the group is this, Lido DAO, LDO. So be paying attention for a swing trade for LDO. Wall has made it to the list. This was one that I shouted out in our Discord as a watch. It has done phenomenally well. But be paying attention to this. They're kind of off and on with Caspa. They take it on, they take it off. But Caspa has done a great job of holding resistance, support above the 10 cents level. And before we go, I just wanted to bring up Celestia and kind of what it is. It's a modular blockchain. And so that was a huge niche. Early on in 2024, Celestia had a lot of hype, okay? And people still had that in the back of their minds, especially people that have been in crypto for a while. 2024 came to super hype. 2023 came hype. 2024 came super hype. And people still remember that. And so Celestia powers apps that work in every corner of the planet. You know, it kind of, falls in that DePIN category, data, on-chain abundance. And you can kind of come on here and check Celestia out. But they have a lot of backers that are using Celestia for infrastructure. They are, you know, you name it, they're there. Celestia, like I said, when Render was $10.50, Celestia was 20. So keep that in mind. I truly believe Celestia is very undervalued. The actual vesting schedule was a little bit different, and I'll go into that another time. But just so you guys know, we are still in greed. I tend not to try to buy as much in greed unless it's a main point for a swing trade. Yeah, so I got a question here. I would say this is my current for TIA, my current liquidation is at 212. If there's a chance to even get a liquidation under $1.99, in my opinion, that would be a decent trade. But one thing I do need to warn is we are not at all point season. We have not pivoted yet fully to monetary, to quantitative easing or monetary policy. And if we are going to stick a soft landing, is not here yet. I would watch the developments on TIA and see if it drops to that lower. It has formed Bollinger Bands. Now remember, Bollinger Bands can break to the upside or the downside. The Bollinger Bands have not tightened on TIA. But what you can see is at the bottom of the Bollinger Band on TIA. I'll show you real quick. So on the bottom of the Bollinger Band on TIA, and I'm going to go to the daily, and I'm going to open this up here. So right here, The bottom of the Bollinger Band is $2.14, or call it 2.15. And so I lowered my entry to under 212. If I was trading it, I would monitor it for right now and see if we do get some downwards action where we just got an EMA cross down, and see if you can find a better entry with maybe even a liquidation. Guys, you don't need to do a 50x, a 15x, a 5x, or a 3x, or a 4x is absolutely amazing for a bull run long. If you could even get in that range of like $1.75, boy, oh boy, man, like it, once the bull runs on, and I truly believe we have still been in a macro uptrend, I believe that'd be a hell of a trade. But currently, I would just keep watching it for entries if it was me. I'm currently in the trade, but like I said, I would watch where we just got a daily EMA cross down. I would look for, the lower support band, and kind of see where it's holding up and see if you can get a better entry. Yeah, that's about it for today, guys. I'm going to be compiling. Yeah, absolutely. Just wait to see if you can get a better entry. But I will say this: Tia's demand zone, when it drops below 230, is high. Okay, you will see Tia's demand zone skyrocket in that 230 range. Tia's demand zone just boom. People love that price target for Tia, is that 230 price zone. So, like I said, we're going to see if we kind of come back to touch that, to that $2.33 range, just about to $2.37. If not, if we see some bullish news, we do have the June FOMC meeting. We're going to see if job data comes in better and we can stick a soft landing. And I'm going to be updating the group on that. But until then, guys, I'm out. But one thing to remember: if you like, keep some sideline cash, and I will be absolutely making sure that everybody here everybody here is still trying to make some money during the choppiness. Like I said, we did a 3x, we did a 2x, and also there's going to be some DCA calls. Right now, with the market being choppy, I like to do DCA calls with cryptocurrencies, like you will see. And as you guys have noticed, during choppiness, a lot of whales and a lot of people will dump money into meme coins. And you saw Moodin go up, super in a night. And you'll see Titcoin, Lofi. You'll see these cryptocurrencies have tons of money dumped into them. Now, you don't want to get caught holding the bag, but it is important that, that you be willing to do that if you choose to. If you want to make some money while the market's choppy, if that's something important to you, I will be posting some trades. So I'm back to researching for you guys. One last thing, crypto bubbles. The market has been down. Let's just look here. And so look at that, guys. The whole market's down. 501 to 600 is holding the best. And as we see, Kikius Maximus, that's done very well. That was a great meme coin I had on my radar that I would have liked to post. Parcel has actually could possibly be a play for us this cycle. It is new, so I'm kind of hesitant, but I'm going to be doing some more research into that. But as we can see, the overall market's down, guys. But Satoshi Chat back with you guys. I'll be back with you soon. And we will be getting to it, man, and making sure that we get to this bag, man. I'm out. Shout out to the great group, and I will talk to you guys later today. Peace out.